Hey everyone. I had some technical difficulties starting off. That's why I'm late. I am about to check something because I'm not using my tablet today. I am actually using my daughter's cell phone. For some reason, my tablet just, I don't know, it would not go live for some reason. And I'm like, you know what? I am about to figure this thing out. So I'm going to tell you. All right, I'm going to check some stuff before I really get started. Telling you. All right, I'm gonna check some stuff. I can hear myself. Um, Give me a second, but I feel like my daughter's Wi-Fi needs to be turned off, so I'm turning off her Wi-Fi. So I haven't went live on Instagram yet because I needed to use my cell phone to check. Normally I use my daughter's cell phone, but because I can't use her cell phone, I am gonna do what I can do at this moment. Okay, everything looks good. I'm gonna get live on Instagram. I just want to adjust this a little bit better. Okay, I like that. Let's see. Get live on Instagram. I just want to adjust this a little bit better. Okay, I like that. Let's see. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna go live on Instagram and we can get started. Hopefully the audio don't look terrible. I'm so nervous to go live on Instagram because I can't frequently check if like everything looks good, but we just gonna have to go with what we at this point we just gonna roll with the punches. So bear with me. Let me go live on IG and then we can get started. Get started. IG is fine. All right, let's go. We're going live on IG now. Hey IG, welcome back to this week's live. Sorry I'm late. I had some technical difficulties, but we are in the building. Facebook is now working. I'm super excited about that. IG never give me problems um when it comes to anything. It seemed like Facebook, well, maybe it's StreamYard. StreamYard is the one that gives me the most issues. Anyways, if you are new here, welcome to my weekly lives. I do these lives every single Wednesdays. I like to call these lives Winning Wednesdays, where I give you all the information that you need to build a successful business. So for the ones that don't know me, my name is Latasha Shelton. I'm the founder and CEO of Boss Life Global, where I help aspiring entrepreneurs transition from the 9 to 5 job and get into entrepreneurship. Three things that my business focus on. We focus on personal development, business development, and building a personal brand or building a brand. So I'm not going to make this long-winded. We're going to get straight into class. If you are new, please grab your notebooks, pen. If you're OG, make sure you have yourself ready, your drink, whatever you need to get yourself comfortable, because we're going to talk about creating or building a client experience today. So this is one of my favorite topics. And for me to do this live about client experience and then I experienced technical difficulties, that is so funny. And I was thinking to myself, I said, I'm doing this class about building an excuse me, I got a lot of I was drinking a soda pop. Um I'm having this class about building a client experience, and here I am experiencing technical difficulties. But that's kind of what happens when you are, trying to build a brand. Things are not going to always go as planned. And that if you have people that's rocking with you and know that you're consistent, know that you're normally on time, 9 times out of 10 they're going to stand by. So when you are ready to go live, or if you're ready to drop a course or drop a new product, they know that you whatever you about to come with, you're going to come with it, because they have that experience from dealing with you previously, or have seen you be consistent in what you're trying to sell. So I wasn't too worried. I didn't panic about it. Was I frustrated? I was very frustrated about it because I'm like, seriously, this day now StreamYard don't want to work. It's all good. Anyway, so building a client experience. What is a client experience? Okay. The overall journey of a customer goes through, sorry, let me start that over. The overall journey a customer goes through when interacting with your brand from initial contact to post purchase support. So, this is very important because I want to use an example before I get started of what a lot of Black people like to say about other Black businesses, right? Now, we know that we all love to support Black businesses. I'm one of those, folks that love to give my Black dollar to my Black cousins and brothers and sisters, right? But a lot of people like to say they don't like to support Black business. You guys kind of know what is the scene that a lot of people say. They like to say Black businesses are organized. Black businesses, they don't want to support Black businesses because they don't deliver what they're selling. They don't like to support Black businesses because their prices is too high, right? And so a lot of people have had these experiences through Black businesses, unfortunately, right? And I feel like the reason why a lot of Black businesses fail is not that they're not creative, because Black people are very creative. We're the number one creative people on this planet, right? We have invented so many different things that a lot of people don't know of. We are very successful when it comes to creativity. Now, when it comes to delivering a client experience, we are not good in that department. And I don't know if it, most of us have the very hustler mentality. Most of us are go getters. Most of us are very business minded because we as a community had to get it out of the grind. We had to um, figure out a way to make it. So we naturally have that business mentality, right? Now, do it need to be tweaked? Absolutely. So that's where client experience come into play. I feel like most Black businesses lack this quality. They don't understand customer service is what drives their business or drive businesses. If you have poor customer service, 9 times out of 10, that client will not take their dollars and shop with you. They don't care if you're a Black owned business and they want to support Black owned. They're going to take their money and they're going to try to find another Black business. But 9 times out of 10, let's be realistic, we're going to take our money and give it to our white counterparts. It is written in the stones. It's been happening for over 40 to 50 years, when we kind of lost that etiquette about us as a culture. We lost a lot of etiquette when it comes to how we present ourselves. And so a lot of these races don't believe in our businesses because we lack customer service skills, right? That's just kind of what it is. So that's why it's very important for you to know who you are as a brand and make sure that you are delivering it the best way you can. Now, we're not going to always run into people that is friendly. We're not going to always, they always say customers is right. It's that saying that say customers right, customers right. To be honest with you, hello, how are you? 1C Money, what's going on? I like to do my heart. Thank you for coming to the live. Thank you for coming to the live. Anyways, I forgot where I'm at. I lost my train of thought. Like, I love interacting with my peoples that come on here. Anyway, so basically I'm saying make sure you have great customer service skills when it comes to you dealing with your customers, because yes, customers are always right, but also you have to be able to talk to them and nurture them the best way you can so that they can have a good experience. So it's not all about the product or service, but the entire process and the emotional connection. So I said that you have to know, you have to learn how to nurture your customers as best as you can. So, we're going to talk about why clients' experience matter, okay? Clients' experience directly affects customers' loyalty, retention, and word of mouth. So, if you don't have a business, if you have a business, right, that is not that have, oh, you know what? I hate when I go into businesses and especially when I go into restaurants and I'm sitting there at the front door for a long time and I'm seeing all these waitresses passing. I know you guys can relate. You see all these waitresses passing, you see the host passing, they're ignoring you and sitting at the door. And even though they may not have seating, it's just the customer service skills that get me. Like, just greet me and say hello, welcome to such and such restaurant. I'll be with you momentarily. Or it's a short way. Like, just greet me and let me know that you concerned about, well, you see me first and foremost, and that you will make sure that I'm accommodated as best as I can. So it annoys me. And then when I sit at the freaking table, I'm waiting and I'm waiting, I'm waiting. So I'm going to tell the next person that don't go to that restaurant because they got terrible food and they lack bad customer service. So word of mouth is very important. So however you show up is what your clients are going to take to the next person. So if you want people to talk highly of you, you have to be conscious and aware of your customers. You have to deliver to the best of your ability even when you don't want to. Like, I came on here and I had technical difficulties, right? It's times when I've came on live and I didn't feel good. It's times where I literally walked in the house maybe 5 minutes before it was time for me to do this live. And it was like, I'm not going to show my customers that I'm frustrated. I'm not going to show you guys that I'm burnt out. I'm not burnt out. But if I was burnt out, I'm not going to show you guys that I'm burnt out. I'm not going to show you guys that I may be sick, but I'm going to get through it and I'm still going to deliver the message like I've been doing consistently for the last 6 weeks. So that's why it's important for you to still show up as the person that how you started when you first started. Okay. So if you started bubbly and, just got a lot of energy, I mean, you have your off days, but still show up that way because your customers appreciate it. Because sometimes people come back just off of your personality, just off of you making them laugh or you making their day. Sometimes people don't even want to buy from you. They just want to support you because they like, I know she gonna make me laugh and I'm having a shitty ass day. um you know I these people at my job is getting on my nerves, so let me jump on Tasha live and see what she got to say, because I know she gonna say something good. I just want to hear it. Sometimes you want to hear it because I can't go to my mom or my dad or my sister and vent to them about my problems, or I won't hear anything positive from them. They're gonna come to me negative. So I know, so you got to know who you're dealing with. Okay. It influences your brand reputation and it can be a key differentiation in competitive market. So, like, for instance, I have a couple women that does the same thing I do, right? We're they are my competition, but I don't look at anybody as my competition because I'm my competition, right? I'm always trying to get better. But you have people that do the same thing that you do. You might be in the same industry that's maybe overly saturated. You got to know how to show up. You got to know how to stand out. I talked about this in my previous lives about finding ways to stand out amongst your crowd and your audience. So you just got to be yourself. I say be authentic, be who you are. Don't try to be somebody that you're not, because it's going to definitely show. So me, I stand out in my competitive market because I'm boss life. So I'm gonna show off. I'm gonna show out anyways. Can nobody be boss life? Boss life is a movement. Like, it's more than like my business. It's more than my company. Boss life is a movement. I always say be obedient, servant self. That's what boss means to me, right? And then I also believe that boss is built on success, right? Self success. So I have different meanings for being a boss. So every time anybody see me, everybody call me boss life, because it was times where I went through situations to where I was worried about what people had to think about me, say about me, and that's why I say be obedient, serve and self, because you have to serve you first, no one else. No one's going to make you happy, no one's going to make you smile, no one's going to be your motivator, no one's going to be able to pick you up when you fall. Only you got you. So that's why it's important that you be a boss of your world, no matter what. And I'm very passionate about that. So yes, I feel like I stand out amongst my audience for sure. So moving forward, positive client experience. Positive client experiences lead to higher conversion rates, repeat business, and brand advocacy. Sorry, y'all. I be writing in my notes, and then I be writing in cursive, and I be forgetting what I write when I actually write down my talking points. So sometimes I read it and be like, what do this say, Tasha? Let me reread that for y'all. Positive client experience lead to higher conversion rates, repeat business, and brand advocacy. So that's self-explanatory. I don't really need to talk about that because I kind of touched on that. All right. So we're going to talk about key elements of a strong client experience. Personalization, tailoring experience based on clients' preference and behaviors. Okay. Personalize different things for different clients. So I am a business owner, I'm a business coach, right? So people come to me with different needs. Some people need help with, they just don't know absolutely nothing about business, and they are so confused on what an LLC is. They're so confused on what a brand even means. They're so confused about business in general. So with that client, I'm going to personalize their plan, their business plan, versus someone that already kind of know their journey, have already dipped in their industry a little bit, and they're just trying to get their wet, and they're just trying to see how they can scale the business or move forward and what they're already passionate about, because they already know they're passion, they already niche down. So my client experience are going to be two different things. They're going to be separate from each other. So I'm going to write something different from for this client than that client. So you have to personalize different things for um different people you're dealing with. So if you're not a business coach and you're somebody that sells, let's say, um I love to use baking for an example. So you might have a client that might be allergic to gluten. You may have a client that don't like cheese and their cheesecakes. I don't know how that works, not like a cheese and a cheesecake, but I know that you can find alternatives, vegan alternatives for cheesecake, right? That's a new thing for me, but that's a real thing. So you're going to tailor to your clients. So if you have a client that love cheesecake and now they found out that they cannot have gluten, you are going to take the gluten out so that you can make sure that client consistently shop with you, because you don't want to lose a client that's been riding with you from the beginning. You have to learn how to pivot as a business owner. That is huge in this industry. Pivoting is not a bad thing. You have to pivot because every one person isn't the same, okay? So that's what I mean when I say you have to tailor to your clients and behaviors. So I'm going to use this me as an example. So and I want to use another thing. So for me, when it comes to behaviors, you have clients that are, oh, I ain't gonna lie. I hate clients that come to me that complain, but I welcome them, right? I don't like it because I feel like a lot of people like to have pity parties and they don't like to look themselves in the mirror. And I'm not judging, but it's a real thing. Some people like to, you find a solution to the problem, they turn around and have another problem. You find a solution again, they turn around and have another problem. So I don't like when a client comes to the table and complain, but also I know how to deal with that client, right? So I monitor my client's behavior. All right, I know this is not going to satisfy Keisha, so I'm going to have to make sure that I am being careful with her emotions and feelings and not being so blunt towards her that I will shy her away. Keisha just need a little tender love and care. I need to nurture her a little bit more than my other clients that can take tough love, right? So you have to know their behavior. For instance, if you're someone that sells food and a client comes in and say, I ain't gonna lie. Last time I had these chicken wings was soft as hell. I need some fried hard to the hard. And you inform them if you fry it hard, it's not going, it's gonna taste like rubber, right? If you fry them too hard. And the client say, I don't care, right? You know, at that moment, you can't argue with that client and tell the client, you know, the safety hazard in like over frying chicken, because it can be a safety hazard with that too. I don't know if we know that if you look it up, but if you've been through cooking school, you know the health standard that what you call those people, the people that come and inspect you, the health inspector, right? That's a thing, right? So you can't argue with this client. All you know is give the client what they want. You know they're gonna come in erratic. You know the client's gonna have a problem with something. Give them what they want, right? Warn them and give them what they want. Don't fight with the client or anything like that, because you have to cater to your customer experience. That customer will be mad and talk crap all about your business. You gotta know who you're dealing with. So you like, oh yeah, that's the one that's gonna come and spread lies about my business, because I already know their personality. I already know their negative behavior. So I'm not gonna give them what they're looking for. So make sure you are paying attention to that. We're gonna move on to consistency. And we talk about consistency every single week, right? Now this is a different type of consistency. Kind of. It all falls in the same type of consistency, but a little differently. Hello, grind, uh, don't shine. Okay, I think I got it right. Grind, don't shine. Welcome to the live. Anyways, we're moving forward. Ensuring the client has a seamless experience across touch points, social media, websites, and in person. So we always talk about consistency. So for instance, if you're someone that sells cupcakes and one week the cupcake is very moist, it falls apart when the client eats it. I mean, it's to die for. The client loves it. And then the following week she comes back and the cupcake is a little bit more drier. Now you are creating gaps in your business. You're creating gaps in your consistency. If you're going to deliver cupcakes that's very soft and it falls apart, make sure you deliver that next week. That's why it's important for you guys to write down y'all recipes when y'all are doing, creating a business and making sure that you're consistent with your foods and your cakes, because that's important. We talked about what 2-3 weeks ago about I think it was about your brand, making sure that you are known for something. If you're known for your cupcakes, make sure that is consistent every single week. Write down your recipe. Make sure you're organized with that. Because I'm not going back to a restaurant that burger was good one day and then it's nasty the next day. I say hit and miss. So me and my friend, we love to go get food. And we always say, you want to go such and such? And they be like, nah, that's a hit and miss. Do you want your business to be a hit and miss? Or you want to go to Tasha's bakery club or whatever? Just making up stuff. Nah, that's a hit and miss. I don't want to be considered a hit and miss. That's why I take consistency very important when it comes to my business. That's why being on time for me is important. Today I couldn't be on time, but I'm consistently on time. I'm consistently showing up every single Wednesday. Do things happen? Do we have bad days? Are we off? Absolutely. But don't make this a thing though. Don't one time fine, twice okay, but don't make this a repetitive thing, because that's when you lose your client experience. Communication. Clear, responsive, and empathetic communication at every stage, from the beginning to the end. So if you are someone that if you're running a business and you have great customer service skills, Make sure that you're clear about what you're selling. Make sure you have these disclaimers, right? That's why contract writing is very important. So if you're someone that do facial, make sure you're clear with what you're delivering. Make sure you have a contract that is very clear, and they understand it before they sign it. It stops a whole bunch of stuff. Time and time again, I get clients that is in that industry, in the facial, the cosmetic industry, right? That have contracts that clients have signed, and then they break out in hives. They might have an allergic reaction. A lot of things happen, and so the client come back and try to sue them or try to go off on them, and they say, well, it was in the contract. And then the client say, I didn't see anything in the contract. Let me tell you something. As a customers come and sign contracts, we're guilty of it. We sign contracts, or we might sign paperwork, and we don't really read thoroughly through it, right? We just sign and be like, oh yeah, I'm good. God got me. God been having me. And then something happened, and you realize like, oh, I should have read that contract. And in the clause, you see that that's in a small print. It ain't nothing you can do about it. You can't come back and sue this person because they didn't already warned you in this clause in this contract, right? So that's on you. That's your fault because you didn't read. But I always tell you, to when you want to avoid those things, make sure you are um clear with the client and actually sitting down and thoroughly going over it with the client so they understand what they're getting ourselves their self into. Now we all want money, and we say, well, we don't want to do that because if the client finds out that this can potentially happen, they're gonna shy away from doing it because they're gonna start second guessing it, right? So you like, I'm not even gonna explain it. I'm gonna have her sign this contract. No, that's the wrong thing to do because you want to protect yourself. You don't want to go to court trying to fight a case about something that was in your contract. You're wasting thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to fight this case, knowing you're right because it's in a contract. But now you got to get a lawyer. Why do you want to go through that? So make sure that you're clear with your clients from the very beginning. Now, I'm a business coach. When I take on a client, and when it comes to my mentorship program, and when it comes to me being a business owner, I make sure that my clients understand what they're getting from me, and I make them sign a document, right? So they understand before I actually work with you one on one, this is what you're going to get out of my program. And if I don't deliver, then I don't deliver. That's on me. But sometimes clients like to add stuff to what service you are the service that stuff to your service that they need, but they're not willing to pay for. Put it like that. Now, I'm going to use an example for me when I had my doula business. I made a big mistake not really being clear in my contract. And so my client spent over $1,000 with me. And she felt like, and I'm not going to say no names because I have had many clients. So just want to make sure my one of my clients are on here. I'm not pointing a finger. But um basically, she wanted more out of my service than what she was willing to pay for. So she was giving I was giving her everything that was in my contract, but because I wasn't thorough and I was so broad in my contract, she was pointing things out that and sliding things in, put it like that, just to sum everything up. She basically got me, really. She actually got more out of my service than what I was willing to give her. And that was my fault, right? Because I wasn't clear. I wasn't clear. And clients do that. Clients like to take advantage of you. Clients like to find fault in your business, and they're going to try to use that against you. So, yeah, that's a real thing. Be very responsive. So if someone gets with you and asks you like, hey, I want to work with you, whatever. Make sure you're getting back with them, and then if they don't contact you, make sure you follow up as much as possible, right? Make sure you send out your email. Email marketing is very important. Making sure that you are sending out text message if you have a text messaging system set up. Make sure you have all those things set up so that you can make sure that you are very responsive to your clients' needs. Okay, even if you got a portal and you're working in a program like with me, I have my entrepreneurial support group. So I'm always in my group responding back to my clients, responding back to people that's in my classroom. So I make sure that I'm very responsive to their needs because they're paying their money, and people don't want to spend money if you're not being attentive to them. um Communication is very important. Have clear communication and be empathetic. Like, don't be so cold-hearted. Even though you feel a certain, keep your opinions to yourself. Now, you can be opinionated and it's okay, but don't be one-sided, right? And don't come from just your limited perspective. So as business owners, we try to give advice from our own limited perspective. Try not to do that because it will shy your customers away. So be a little empathetic and try to understand where the client is coming from. So, anyways, we are going to move to ease of use. Simplify your process like booking, purchasing, and customer support. I talked about that in my last live, two lives actually, about automating your process. So I think that live is called um actually forgot, y'all. I forgot. Go back to that live. All right. It was a live that I did last week. We talked about simplifying your processes, your booking, purchasing, and your customer support. So I don't really need to go through that. Okay. Mapping the client's journey. Walk through the keys of stages, a typical client journey. Um, Talk about awareness, consideration, purchase, and retention. I think this is kind of stuff I talked about last week. We're going to kind of push it to the side. Okay, so this is my favorite part of this, right? Let me shut my window, it's cold. This is my favorite part of this discussion. Building emotional connections. Okay, so building emotional connection is very important because that's how you get your clients. People want to feel like you're relatable. People want to feel like you're relatable. People want to feel like you're relatable. If they feel like they can't relate to you, they will not spend their money with you. Okay. So people do business with brands they trust and connect with emotionally. Okay. What am I writing, y'all? I told you I was rushing and like I wrote in cursive and I don't even know what I wrote. Anyways, now, storytelling is very important. We about to go into storytelling, and I'm about to put this to the side because I'm gonna end this here, right? Storytelling is very important. So we all got a story. We all came from, everybody came from different backgrounds. Some people may came from the hood. Some people may came from the suburban. Some people may came from the foster care system. We all came from different backgrounds. But people want to hear your story. Like, people want to hear what you got to say. Why did you get into business? Because most of the time, first and foremost, we should be doing something that we're passionate about. And most of the time, our passion comes from something we might have been through in our life. Sometimes our passion may come from just something you're naturally gifted in. So people want to hear your story. Master storytelling. Master simplifying your story in less than maybe 5 minutes. Okay, so I am about to storytell for you guys so you can kind of understand what you need to do to get clients and have a better client experience, because again, clients want to see that you are relatable as much as possible. So when I go and speak amongst an audience, right, because I often get booked for presentations. I get booked to speak at conferences and stuff like that. um what's a tip to mastering storytelling? Okay, I'm going to get into that. Thank you for asking that, because one of the biggest things is confidence. Being confident in what you're saying, and making sure that it comes off um easy. Because when people struggle to get things across, then they don't really know their story. They're not mastering storytelling. So, being confident in what you're trying to sell is very important when it comes to storytelling. I'm going to give you an example, all right? I'm going to tell my story for you, and then you can kind of see how to properly storytell. So, um, I'm going to introduce myself. Hello, my name is Latasha Shelton. I am the founder and CEO of Boss Life Global, where I help aspiring entrepreneurs properly transition from their 9 to 5 job and get into entrepreneurship. There's three things that we focus on: personal development, building a. See, look, I'm all over the place because I'm in my head. Three things we focus on: personal development, business development, and building a personal brand. Okay. So I like to tell people I've been a business owner since 8 years old. My dad put me in business, selling candy around the neighborhood. I was the one that was very competitive. I was always the one that wanted to outsell my neighbors down the street because she always had candy that was too high and none of the kids wanted to shop there. So I told my daddy to put me in business, and I was the cheapest person on the block, right? I learned how to sell at a very young age. Fast forward, at the age of 22 years old, I got into the trucking business and learned the logistics of what it takes to run a trucking business. I did that over the road for 2.5 years. I learned customer service skills. I learned how to properly write a bill of lading. I learned accounting skills because I had to be accountant when it come to trucking. So I learned that industry very early on. In 2020, I quit my 9 to 5 job and became an entrepreneur. I was working at UPS for 10 years. And again, I still was in the transportation logistics. But in 2020, I realized that entrepreneurship was for me, and that 9 to 5, being a 9 to 5 worker was something I didn't want to do anymore because I felt like I was always destined to be an entrepreneur. I was always a self starter. I always talked to people. I always had good customer service skills. And so that's kind of what led me into doing the work when it comes to developing my doula business, which still exists to this day. So I learned how to be a doula. I learned the logistics of being a doula. I learned how to work with midwives. I learned how to do paperwork. So I realized that I was very skilled at being a business owner. I realized that I was actually helping people build businesses because people wanted to learn from me. People wanted to learn how to start a business. And people wanted a lot of single mothers wanted to get out of onto being a lot of single mothers wanted to get out of being a 9 to 5 workers because they couldn't stay home with their children during COVID time. Women wasn't able to work. They didn't know how to take care of their family. And so they wanted to get into entrepreneurship, and they said, I don't want to go back to this 9 to 5 job. I want to stay home. I got a taste of how it feels to be home with my children, and I don't want to go back and be that woman to have to be the breadwinner of my household. I want to be an entrepreneur and still be a loving mother to my daughters or my family, right? And so I was able to help these women develop a business, and now they're successful. Now they are home, happily married, have their children, have a healthy lifestyle. They have developed a healthy lifestyle, and their businesses is thriving. So that is why Boss Life Global has become what it is because I have created bosses by being a boss. Okay. So if you want to work with me, make sure you hit me up at Boss Life Global on all social media platforms. Blase whoop the boom. That's storytelling. Okay. So people want to hear your story. People want to know how you got into business. Now, I was all over the place on this one, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. I was all over the place on this. Now, when I'm actually prepared to really do my story and talk in front of people, it's much cleaner. But right now, you guys get the point, okay? So that's kind of how I master my storytelling, by always going over your story, always writing your script and repeating it, always practicing it. It's times where I've been home and I've walked around my house talking to myself, and I've told my stories 15 million times to myself, and I've cut things out of my stories. It was times where I wanted to tell my whole entire story, and I'm like, that's too long. I don't want to, you don't want to tell your life story, but you want to hit on it to where it's relevant to your business. So you see how me being an entrepreneur at a very young age, understanding what business look like, being very skilled at business, knowing that this was my calling, had to go through trials and tribulations to figure out that 9 to 5, being a 9 to 5 worker wasn't just, it wasn't for me, right? And there's a lot of people that don't want to be 9 to 5 workers. There's a lot of people that want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't know where to start. And I was that person. But because I've already previously had the experience, it was easy for me to transition from my 9 to 5 job and get into entrepreneurship because I already knew how to do it, right? So I just wanted to help people do the same thing because everybody's not experienced like Tasha. So I needed to make sure that I was mastering storytelling, mastering and developing a story that people can understand, because that's how you get your clients. People want to understand your story so they can relate to you. So again, if I can give you a tip on mastering your story, mastering storytelling, be very confident in what you're saying. Lead with confidence at all times. Go over your script. Write some key points that you went through in life that made you who you are. Figure out how this can be relevant to your business, and make sure that it's sweet. Make sure you're introducing yourself. Make sure that you have a brand authority, making sure you let people know what you do and what you stand for, your values. That's how you story tell. Put everything in one, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to have a mean story. I'm going to tell you this now. Make sure when you're storytelling, make sure you have a 30-second pitch. No, I'm sorry. Make sure you have a 10-second elevator pitch. Make sure you have a 30-second elevator pitch, and make sure you have a 3-minute elevator pitch. When you start with the 3-minute and write your story, right? Write your story, hit on key points, move on to your 30-second, takes the summary of your 3 minutes and make it into your 30-second script, and then take the 30 seconds and make it into a 10-second script. So if somebody asks you what you do, right? Hello, my name is Latasha Shelton. I'm the founder and CEO of Boss Life Global, where I help aspiring entrepreneurs transition from the 9 to 5 grind and get into entrepreneurship. I say that a lot fast, but that will be my 10-second script, okay? My 30-second script will, hello, my name is Latasha Shelton. I'm the founder and CEO of Boss Life Global, where I help aspiring entrepreneurs properly transition from the 9 to 5 grind and get into entrepreneurship. 3 things we focus on is business development, personal development, and building a personal brand. That's your 30-second script. Also, you want to say your 30-second script. Um, if you want to find me, make sure you go to Boss Life Global Company at gmail.com, or visit me on all my social media platform at Boss Life Global, and visit my stand store / Latasha Shelton. I did a call to action. So make sure you're introducing yourself, what your business do, and make sure you have a call to action at the end so people know where to find you when you are pitching, okay? And always have your business card on handy. Make sure your social media platform is cleaned up. So when people go to your social media, your pages don't look all crazy, because people don't, they trying to go directly to what you just try to sell them, not to you partying with your friends and throwing shots up in the air, okay? Okay, I appreciate the tip. That sounds useful, especially the script part breakdown. Okay, cool. I'm glad that you understand it, right? So so we talked about the 30 seconds. So your 3-minute script will be the, hello, my name is Latasha Shelton. I'm founder and CEO of Boss Life Global, where I help aspiring entrepreneurs properly quit their 9 to 5 jobs and get into entrepreneurship. 3 things we focus on: business development, personal development, and building a personal brand. A little synopsis about myself, right? That's what I like to say when I get started. A little synopsis about myself. I tell people that, well, I used to be a business owner at the age of 8 years old. Then you start your story. I used to be a business owner at that, well, whatever. And I realized and I've learned, da, 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 and this is how I got into business. And it all shaped me to be who I am today. And here I am showing up for you guys, want to be da, 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 da. You see what I'm saying? So y'all heard of my script in the beginning. Now, do it need to be cleaned up? Absolutely. Most of the times when I'm practicing, making sure you practice, because you're not going to always remember your talking points. But when you have, if you're speaking for, a big organization, it's okay to have your cue cards, because sometimes I forget stuff. So people think you have to remember things on the top of your head. I had this for a reason. I'm a teacher. So most of the time teachers have talking points because you're teaching a class. It's okay to have your cue cards or something on your phone so that you can remember your talking points. You don't never see people, the president don't even remember stuff off the top of his head. He's looking at a piece of paper. Oprah don't ever have the things top off the top of her head. Now, if you're someone that's on stage, right? You're someone on stage that is a master storyteller, and that's what they do. They're motivational speakers, and all they do is go across one stage to another. Yes, of course, you got to perfect your craft. But as a person that's selling something or selling a product, it's okay to have cue cards when you're speaking in front of your audience. Okay. So don't get in your head that, oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember my script, my 3 minute script. That's not realistic. Okay. So that's kind of what it is. If you guys got any more questions about storytelling, drop it down here. I'm willing to answer your question. Any questions you guys have about just anything, just drop it down here and I'll be, willing to answer that as much as possible. But I appreciate your participation, Grind Don't Shine. And I do these weekly lives every single Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Each week is different topics. This week was about your target audience. Next week will be something totally different. Okay, so make sure you tune in every Wednesdays, and I do save my lives. So if you get into my entrepreneurial support group, go to my bio, click the link, and go to my entrepreneurial support group. I will have these lives uploaded in the community tab, so if you want to go back and watch the live, you can. Or I have a YouTube channel, Boss Life TV. Or not Boss Life TV, that's my other YouTube channel. My business YouTube channel is Boss Life Global. If you want to go to my YouTube channel, you can find all my replays. Last month we did brand, how to build a personal brand, how to build a brand. So that was a month worth of that. And now we're in a different month with a different topic. Um, so yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Also, you can purchase my book on Barnes and Noble or Amazon called The Boss Blueprint. Again, if you click the both of you guys, because I'm on Facebook too on my business page. So if you click the link in my bio, it'll take you to my stand store, and you'll be able to download the ebook, or you'll be able to order it off of Amazon. It takes 2 days to come in. So and this, what I'm talking about, will be in that book. So don't worry about not really understanding. If you're someone that's a hands-on person that needs to know a little bit more about you know, business and how to, develop a successful business, just get that book. And it's a work guide, and you can work at your own pace. So I'm gonna leave it here. Yes, I love coming on here every Wednesday. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. Sorry for the delay. StreamYard wasn't, they weren't on my side today. Today was kind of crazy. I think Mercury is in retrograde, y'all, because Mercury got Tasha off her game today. Okay, and it's not my ID. Everything has not been working for me today. So it's okay because I'm a trooper. I know how to get through things. So, anyways, I'll see you next week with a new subject. And yes, thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out.